Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings, family. May the Most High Yahuwah bless every single one of you. I'm going to be speaking out of all love and out of all truth. I've been noticing and hearing that people keep saying that they're able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. But they don't understand. They're not perfect. So because they are not perfect and they carry that sin nature, you cannot keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. Because you have to understand, you were born into sin and you're going to die into sin. Only man that was able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, because he was perfect, was the one that came down from his throne, which is Yahusha HaMashiach. Let me show you what the scriptures say, so that I could show you that you cannot keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. Let us go to Hebrews chapter 8, verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. So if Israel did not break the law, statutes, and commandments the first time, there would never be no need for a second one. For finding fault with them, he says, see, the days are coming, says Yahuwah, when I shall conclude with the house of Yasharel and with the house of Yehuda a renewed covenant. So when he comes back to gather Israel and bring them back to the mountain, he said he's going to make a renewed covenant, which is nothing but the renewal of the old. But this one will be different than the first covenant. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I disregarded them, says Yahuwah. Because this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Israel out of those days, says Yahuwah, giving my laws in their mind, and I shall write them on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people, and they shall by no means teach each one of his neighbor and each one of his brothers, saying, know Yahuwah, because they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, because I shall forgive their unrighteousness and their sins, and their lawlessness I shall no longer remember. By saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now what becomes old, growing in age, is near disappearing. So when Yahuwah comes back, he's going to put the law, statutes, and commandments upon the house of Israel's mind and heart. So because he's going to do this, they're going to be able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, because they're going to be perfectly. It's not going to be like the old where he puts it upon tablets of stone. No, he's going to put it upon tablets of stones of their heart, where they can never go against the law, statutes, and commandments again by whoring off the other idols. You have to understand, when Yahuwah turned his back upon Israel, he gave Israel a written divorcement. And he sent them and scattered them to the four corners of the earth. So because of that, no man can keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. That cannot work until the Most High Yahuwah comes back. You have to understand what King Solomon said. King Solomon said, a righteous man falls 7 times a day. We know when a righteous man sins, he gets guilty and he acknowledges his sin and he goes to Yahuwah for forgiveness. But when a sinful man sins, he does not know it, because he's doing what is natural unto himself. So his punishment, because he's only doing what is natural to himself, his punishment is death. His punishment is eternal damnation. That's why y'all keep saying y'all able to keep the law, statutes, commandments perfectly. Where? Show me. You perfect? You don't have problems? You don't make mistakes? You don't sin? Come on now. You ain't Yahusha. You ain't perfect. Yahusha was the only one that was perfect, that kept the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. The Most High Yahuwah told Israel to go back to the law, statutes, commandments, and be obedient to him. He didn't say that Israel shall be able to keep it perfectly. He did not say that. You have to understand what Paul himself said. Paul himself said, if it was not for the law, I would not know sin. That's why people keep talking about, well, I keep the law, statutes, commandments perfectly, and I don't sin. Man, you lying. You ain't speaking the truth. May the Most High Yahuwah bless every single one of you. I hope you all have an amazing day. I love every single one of you. Shalom.